In your headlines, the death of Marie Culla is being re-examined 3 years after she was found strangled. And it was a busy holiday weekend in TCI waters. From the PTV Broadcasting Headquarters in Providenciales, your number one source for news, I'm Erica Penales, delivering the latest from across the country this Wednesday, June 8th, 2022, right to your door. Newswatch starts now. Newswatch learns that the death of Marie Culla is being re-examined 3 years after she was found strangled near the Club Med Resort. Here's that report.
The medical examiner should have testified last Wednesday, according to the court schedule. Newswatch learns that the death of Marie Culla is being re-examined over 3 years after the discovery of her body near the Club Med Resort. The family, in pursuit of a wrongful death lawsuit against Club Med, is of the belief that the re-examination comes as a result of their legal quest to enter that $10 million settlement with the resort. PTV is told that the coroner's inquest began on Tuesday, May 31st, and Culla's son, Rick Culla Jr., displayed a degree of frustration over government's decision to re-examine his mother's death. Back in 2018, Marie Culla decided on a Club Med turquoise vacation with 2 friends, and one day during her visit, it is reported that she left the pool to go to her room and disappeared. She was found dead a day and a half later in a sandy clump of bushes near the resort. According to the medical examiner's report, Culla died of manual strangulation, noting a diffused hemorrhage or bleeding in her head, a fractured rib, abrasions, bruising to her lower extremities, and dirt and debris in her mouth and upper airway. However, it was reported that the family wasn't able to retrieve the autopsy for almost 3 years following her death. According to an NBC report, on the day Culla's body was found, Helma Hermans, one of the friends on the trip, told police that she suspected a fellow guest, also from Long Island, and a former Club Med employee, could be responsible. Herman said Frank Yacullo Jr., who was seen in a video overturning a float in the pool, had sexually groped her, and she complained to resort staff. He was arrested by officers on the sex assault allegation and was later released on $10,000 bail. We learned that he is named along with Club Med in that $10 million wrongful death lawsuit filed by the family and took the 5th in depositions, while Club Med has denied all of those allegations.
The Ministry of Home Affairs, Transportation, and Communication recently announced some increases to welfare benefits. Newswatch shares details on those increases, where they fall, and who is eligible.
Minister of Home Affairs, Transportation, and Communication Honorable Otis Morris recently announced some increases in financial services or assistance under the Department of Social Development and Welfare, which would have come into effect back in April and is portrayed as follows. The social enhancement aid increased from $120 to $500 a month per child, with $1,500 for up to 3 children, and from $120 to $1,000 monthly per adult or household. Under the foster care program, there has been an increase from $120 to $300 weekly per child for up to 3 children per household. Benefits under the home health aid remain at $150 for part-time and $250 for full-time per week. So who's eligible, you may ask? Any vulnerable Turks and Caicos Islander with a valid status card living in the TCI. The vulnerable is any person in need of special care, support, or protection due to age, disability, unemployment, or risk abuse or neglect. These persons include orphans, dependent children, the elderly, the unemployed, underemployed, persons with medical conditions, or persons legally deemed mentally, physically, and emotionally challenged. To apply, one requires 2 forms of valid identification, for instance, a status card and passport, copies of expenses like utility bills, mortgages, etc., a letter of employment outlining earnings, and a recent payslip or any official proof of income. Once application is submitted and considered, a social worker will visit the applicant's home for an assessment, complete an application, and once approved, the applicant will be contacted. Anyone with further queries can contact the Department of Social Development at 338-2692 for Grand Turk and 338-4008 for Provo.
It's time for a quick break. More News Watch when we return.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Welcome back to News Watch. Belfield Landing, the 4th port in the TCI's port system, is coming along nicely, and port officials maintain it's on time. We take a look.
It's just over a week into June, the month set for the completion of Phase 1 of the Belfield Landing Welcome Center in North Caicos. And according to recent online postings by the Port Authority, the project is on time and on budget. Efforts to contact the Director of Ports, Delton Jones, and the Minister responsible today were unsuccessful, but Newswatch can report that the structures for the Welcome Center are taking shape quite nicely. And over the weekend, the Port Authority sent out requests for quotations for the supply of office furniture for the administration office at the Welcome Center. Persons have up to the 17th of June to send in their quotations. Phase 1 of the master plan for Belfield Landing entails the Welcome Center building, which will include a restaurant, offices, and other such amenities for the traveling public's convenience. Other aspects of Phase 1 include upgrading and extending the existing ferry and boat docks with berths, dredging of the boat basin and channel, and a local boat ramp. The under-construction site is already seeing an improvement in its aesthetics, and today, the 8th of June, the Port Authority had to warn persons that they need to seek permission from them to host events before they are publicized to the general public. The Port Authority says they are aware of events that are already publicized where permission was not sought, and therefore will be prohibited. Meanwhile, there is lots more in the works for Belfield Landing. Phase 2 of the construction will see asphalt, surface, staff parking with curbs, mechanical sewage treatment and disposal plant, a rural ramp, commercial retail buildings, water sports buildings, security checkpoints, ancillary asphalt surface parking with curbing for customers, center canopy for civic and cultural events, a fuel dock, and ancillary parking. There are 2 additional phases. The third will see a breakwater, lay-by dock or crane being installed, a fire station, water plant, and viewing gazebos. In the 4th phase, the Port Authority building will be constructed, with long-term parking, storage buildings, berths for mega yachts, and completion of the commercial retail buildings started in Phase 2. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Alves.
It was a busy holiday weekend in TCI waters as Border Patrol intercepted 3 sloops and hundreds of illegals on board. Details in this report.
Over the long holiday weekend alone, 375 persons were detained trying to enter the Turks and Caicos Islands illegally by sloops. And in the last couple of months, around 1,143 individuals on 11 dangerous vessels have been intercepted by police marine operations and the Marine Branch working together. According to Police Superintendent Martin Ball, this is testament to the professionalism of the 2 teams here in TCI. The first sloop was intercepted in the early morning hours of Saturday, the 4th of June. Police report that it was tracked by their Marine Operations Center from the leeward area of Providenciales. The operator immediately updated colleagues within the Marine branch who made their way to the location and pursued a fast boat, which was eventually abandoned on the Five Keys beach. That boat, police say, had been reported stolen by the owner in Leeward. Police are now conducting a thorough forensic examination on the vessel as their investigations continue. Shortly after this incident, at 5:44 a.m., an alarm was raised again that a suspicious vessel has been tracked by the Marine Operations Center. Officers were deployed and safely intercepted the vessel, which was overloaded with irregular migrants. Following the stabilization of the boat, it was carefully offloaded at sea to ensure the safety of the occupants and then towed to South Dock. In total, 169 persons, which includes 120 males and 49 females, were taken into custody by the Immigration Department. Then again on Sunday, the 5th of June, at about 4:49 a.m., another suspicious vessel was identified and tracked by the Marine Operations Center. The vessel was safely recovered with 102 irregular migrants on board. They too were processed by immigration officials. And finally, for this past weekend, on Monday at 2:23 a.m., a third sloop was identified, tracked, and intercepted here in TCI waters. Once again, following a delicate coordinated operation, 104 persons, that would be 82 males and 22 females, were safely handed over to immigration officers. Commenting on the busy weekend, Superintendent Ball says all the vessels intercepted were overcrowded and unsafe, potentially putting the lives of those on board at risk. He notes that it was the work of his officers that ensured all these persons were safely transported to the relevant department for processing. The police force continue to appeal to anyone who may have information relating to such activities to call Crime Stoppers anonymously on 1-800-8477. And not only will you be saving lives, but also supporting national security here in the TCI. For PTV News Watch, I'm Delana Isles.
Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. Coming up next is your weather forecast.
This is a reminder that all PTV service accounts are due on the first day of each month. Accounts should be brought up to date by the 28th of the month to avoid disruption in service. Payments may be made on our office at Stubbs Diamond Plaza, Providenciales, Mides Plaza, North Caicos, and Airport Road in South Caicos. Payments may also be made online using Scotiabank, CIBC First Caribbean Bank, and Royal Bank of Canada. Please allow 3 business days for online payments to be processed. We thank you for your cooperation.
Here's your weather forecast for June 9th, 2022. For the nation's capital, Grand Turk, on Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, high 84, low 79, wind southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For South Caicos, mostly cloudy skies, high 84, low 79, wind southeast at 15 to 25 miles per hour. For North and Middle Caicos, mostly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. For Parrot and Pine Key, mostly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. And on Providenciales, mostly cloudy skies, high 85, low 79, wind southeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Now for your sunrise and sunset. Sunrise 6:06 a.m., sunset 7:32 p.m. And for your high tides and low tides, high tides 3:24 a.m., 4:01 p.m. and low tides 3:35 a.m., 10:21 p.m. And for your hurricane outlook, for the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, tropical cyclone formation is not expected during the next 5 days. And that's it for your weather forecast and hurricane outlook. We'll be right back for more News Watch.
at People's Television, we're more than just your leading news and entertainment services. We are
spreading the gospel.
We are breaking barriers.
We are preserving the culture. Each one, teach one.
We are committed to excellence.
We're creating change.
We are creating memories.
We are the future.
I am PTV.
I am PTV. I am PTV.
I am PTV.
We are PTV.
We are continuing the legacy. We are PTV.
Welcome back to Newswatch. The Honorable Arlington Musgrove is calling out the United Nations on their recent statement regarding the situation in Haiti and the unconcealable expectation of Caribbean nations as being reckless and misguided. We take a look. In a May 27th statement, a spokesperson for the refugee agency UNHCR urged regional governments to do more to assist persons fleeing from their homeland, Haiti. This came as the situation continues to worsen in the neighboring failed republic, where there is escalating deterioration in security and rising gang violence. The Minister Honorable Musgrove, in response to the UN and in light of the recent illegal migrant activity in the TCI, stated, quote, I am appalled at the United Nations. Their unrealistic call for regional governments to do more is nothing short of reckless and misguided. Haiti has a population of 11.6 million people. How could any small developing state like the Turks and Caicos Islands assist that number of people or even the smallest fraction of them? We have a population of some 47,000 persons, and our healthcare, education, and other social systems remain fragile and could never withstand any influx of refugees. This would be a risk to our very own livelihood. I do sympathize with the Haitian people. There is a real crisis in Haiti, one which the UN peacekeeping mission itself retreated from in 2019, and it has gotten progressively worse since then, but here is not the place for them. We cannot accommodate them in the TCI. Over the last 4 days alone, and following the call of the UN, there were 3 successful at-sea interceptions by the Marine Branch of the Royal Turks and Caicos Islands Police Force and 1 go-fast boat landing in the community of 5 Keys. A total of 390 illegal migrants are currently being repatriated from the Turks and Caicos Islands. Additionally, the United States Coast Guard and Operation Bahamas and Turks and Caicos continue to cooperate on matters of illegal migration and the policing of the waters around the Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, and the United States, and there have been successful diversions of other would-be dangerous crossing attempts before they could ever enter our waters. The minister continued, I wish to recognize the work of our partner agencies, U.S. Coast Guard, Operation Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, and the Marine Police, who continue to ensure that these large vessels do not make clandestine landfall, and that of my own team in the Department of Immigration and Customs, who continue to respond to the unceasing pressures of illegal migration. I further call on my own people, Turks and Caicos Islanders, and any person who has chosen to live among us, who dares to be involved in this ring of people smuggling. This is a crime, and there are persons who know who are involved in it and refuse to inform the authorities.
We are our own worst enemy. We are helping to destroy our own country, and that cannot be okay. It will not be okay.
We will continue to work at unraveling and interrupting this organization, and we will take whatever measures necessary to bring an end to this horrendous situation. End quote. The Turks and Caicos Islands has faced unrelenting challenges with illegal migration over the years, and in recent times has expensed in excess of $3 million year on year on the repatriation and other costs associated with detention of illegal migrants. An ongoing mission to remove plastics from the oceans, led by the Ocean Voyages Institute, set sail on World Oceans Day to the Pacific Gyre from the Hawaiian port of Honolulu. Here's more. Ocean Voyages Institute, a Sausalito, California-based nonprofit organization, is utilizing a 140-foot sustainable sailing cargo vessel to conduct cleanup in the North Pacific subtropical convergence zone. This summer's mission is to continue removing the proliferating, harmful plastics from the Great Pacific Garbage Gyre. This expedition is building upon the over 500,000 pounds of plastic Ocean Voyages has removed from the ocean, which includes the largest open ocean cleanup in history. The government of the Marshall Islands, which purchased the vessel Kwai under a new sustainability initiative started at the Paris Climate Accords, has committed to reducing its carbon footprint by 30% by 2025. Amid emergency climate declarations by several South Pacific nations, including Vanuatu and the Republic of the Marshall Islands, a mission to remove plastics from the oceans is in effect.
The oceans are the lifeblood of our planet and create 2 out of every 3 breaths we take. We depend on the oceans for our health and the health of our planet. Our expeditions showcase that solutions to the plastic pollution issue can be achieved now.
The vessel's captain is Lockie McLean, a veteran ocean conservationist and environmentalist activist whose previous work includes stopping whaling in the Antarctic and providing maritime aid to hurricane-affected countries in the Caribbean.
We're grateful to the Republic of the Marshall Islands for being a part of this campaign, as several nations across the Pacific declare climate emergencies. The use of the vessel Kwai, a sustainable cargo ship, assists OVI in continuing the removal of plastics from the ocean, which otherwise would break down and hamper the ocean plankton's ability to trap carbon.
Ocean Voyages Institute's international crew is composed of professional seamen from the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Kiribati, Fiji, Canada, South Africa, UK, and Germany. The ship will be at sea for over 40 days, docking to offload nets and plastic debris midway through the expedition prior to embarking on a second leg. Ocean Voyages Institute uses a wide range of methods, including UAVs, GPS trackers attached to debris, and satellite imagery in order to efficiently recover the debris. Once recovered, plastic and nets are stored in the ship's cargo hold for proper recycling, upcycling, and repurposing at the end of the voyage. Ocean Voyages Institute first started its ocean cleanup initiative in 2009 and has led many successful cleanups, including removing 170 tons of marine debris in the North Pacific Gyre in 2020 and over 91,000 pounds in 2019 at sea and along coastal areas during cleanup work around the Hawaiian Islands. Founder Mary Crowley's goal to remove 1 million pounds of debris from the North Pacific Gyre is already well underway, and funding is still needed to expand their ocean cleanup effort. To learn more and to donate, you can visit Ocean Voyages at www.oceanvoyagesinstitute.org. And that brings us to the end of this edition of The Real News. I hate to leave you so soon, but of course, you can join us right back here every weekday at 6:30 p.m. and tap into our social media platforms at www.ptv8tci.com. I'm Erica Penales, keeping you informed, updated, and affiliated. Until next time.